Rubbish. Oh, g'day everybody. How's it going? Hey, Yamari, you're up there first. Good to see you. Sorry I didn't reply back to you again on YouTube. I did see your reply back and everything just got out of hand as it does, and I didn't get around to replying. So I'm sorry about that. Let's see, I've just kind of jumped the gun a little bit here and wasn't yet ready, but let's see. Let's get the back off this computer and then we'll get into it. Yes, another late stream, which is probably not the best thing, but I've got to get the work done. Clap my hands down the sound check a second. I definitely think it's that buffering feature in Open Broadcaster that causes all the issues. So ever since I've disabled that, I've not had any problems that I'm aware of, other than just the creator of the content in itself, that is in myself. Hey, Tony, Jessica, Sam, Soda, Margarita's here. Pedro, shouldn't you be resting up, getting some good health into your bones? Hey David, back again. Let's see, Swikawek. Trying to think, is that Afrikaans or Dutch? Not too sure what to make of that name. Hey, Yankov, Tux, Zoltan, Total Tech's here too. Okay, I've got all these screws out. I think I have. Okay, we can switch over to overhead. Boink. Okay. Polish. Okay, well, I hereby have learned something new. Thank you very much for letting me know. Okay, that's that. Better take that SSD out. Can't have the good people's data languishing around at risk of my incompetence. I suppose taking the battery out would be the right thing to do as well. Mark, Bianca, how's it going? Okay, let's get this battery out. The old flannelette shirt is catching in the way a little bit here. I might have to ditch it. Tolerate the extreme chill that we have here up in Charters Towers. A whole probably 23 centigrade. Yeah, might have to. Okay, we've got a little bit of liquid report here, stickage, and that's come in from the trackpad, interestingly. Alright, that's something to note. Trackpad has liquid ingress, and we've got a 00165 board. Let's see, let's fix up the details here. Eight 220 00165 date. Add a note that there is distinct, it's like grit and everything all under the keyboard too. Liquid ingress via trackpad edges. Grit present under keyboard backlight film. Alrighty. How many levers do I print for each new job? Usually 3. So there's one for the case, one for the screw holder, and one for the drive. And that usually gets me out of most of my mischief. Oh, Pedro, you're stealing most of my good stuff. You know it too. You're off there in the wilderness, scampering off, taking advantage of any... Wow, this thing's actually been reassembled. What the... Okay. This is how you know when someone who doesn't do this every day has been involved with putting some machine back together at some point. First thing. Well, first thing is the cables here are routed wrong, or not routed correctly. A bit of a subtle difference between saying wrong and not correctly. Okay, so at least they do get the right one to the right place, but they have failed to notch them into here. So they should have been like pushed in like that. So they went too far, but the downside is they've butchered the Wi-Fi connector here. So hopefully that's not going to be a big problem, but we'll see when we do some testing. Hey Igor, you've left the sticker on your case, didn't you? The next one is when they route the camera cable under the board and then bring it over like this. That's when you know that they're not used to this particular board. So that's, to be fair, that's only 2 faults. But I guess it's little trip-ups like that which let you know that there's been another hand in the case here. And there's a substantial amount of atmospheric type corrosion going on here. You can see it on the edge of the Wi-Fi module. I'm not sure what's going on there, whether they got swapped. And okay, our backlight is going to be a little bit cactus. That hasn't been fully inserted properly, so it should have been in more like that. It could have just been a quick throw back together, but and it's maybe Pedro was doing this one. Yeah, definitely we've had liquid come through here. Yeah, that's still sticky, icky sticky. It's a work experience scenario, quite possibly. I mean, there's no great harm in it. I'd say this was just quickly thrown back together by, someone said, look, just go and put this back together so I can send it off. Because obviously that wasn't plugged in. Now hopefully the camera cable is not being butchered. That is where it does make a difference. If we've butchered that, then that's not something that I care to repair or replace. That seems like at least we've been blessed and they haven't torn that. Alright, let's get this board out. There's enough corrosion. There's enough corrosion around on it that it's worth taking out straight away. Okay, we do have a liquid damage marker present active. It is a bit of a shame about that Wi-Fi cable. It doesn't seem like it'd be a major thing. Yeah, it's like, oh well, yeah, Wi-Fi cable, Wi-Fi antenna, what's the matter? But the problem is on the 1466 is that that cable goes all the way into the screen, and it's not the most trivial thing to change. So even though it's not a critical function directly to the operation of the board, it's also not something you want to have disabled. People say, oh, we'll just throw a little USB Wi-Fi on the side. And so, well, that's, the Air does not have that many ports, so you basically lose one port straight away. the other option is to work on top of the Wi-Fi router and then you'll be okay. So I'll be worried this is going to actually separate as I break it off, or it's damn well nearly going to be close to it. Got some stickiness down here. I'm trying to get this out. Could just be bad luck. Not seeing anything. Oh, there's a little smidge there. More grit. It's certainly been in active use. It's got a lot of dust built up on the back edge. No harm in that. That's normal. So just put all these things back together. Put it down on the holding deck. And let's have a look at the board. Oh, come on, camera. Yeah, that's a deal, though. Come on. I don't know what its deal is. Change over to HDMI, capture sooner or later. There's a little bit of corrosion there. There's corrosion under that sensor there. Is it a sensor? Or is it a MOSFET? Could be a sensor or MOSFET, but anyway, there's corrosion under there. There's a little bit of corrosion by our AllSys, but not enough probably to do anything to it. Interestingly, our crystal has got liquid directly around it. It's almost like it's bleeding out. Tomorrow's. Thank you very much. Ice cream time. Ooh, nice. RSD. Damn it. I don't know my currencies well enough to remember what RSD is. Is that Russian rubles? I would have thought that'd be rub. Whoa, okay. Well, I've never really had before corrosion appear in this area, so this is a new one for me. Trying to find the appropriate Serbian dinar. Oh, cool. That is something new and interesting. Although Damaris has contributed before and I just simply failed to be a good host and remember that that's what it is. That's probably going to need replacing. These should be okay. I have no idea what this is. It almost looks like milk. But yeah, I've never had corrosion in this area before. Because it's right at the back. But I guess it's near the keyboard, so... Okay, let's remember that one. So for the most part, this probably is going to be a flux and boil, yeah, janitorial type thing. That there may be the... Where did you come from? Just fly off? The SMC itself seems to have gotten away without drama. But this crystal here, yeah, that's still wet. Wet and gooey. Doesn't look like it might have done anything to the crystal, it just looks like it's wet and gooey. Nick, I think the main reason being is that they are an affordable Mac to start with, and they're a good Mac, and yeah, people do like to keep them alive, and they cost new. They still cost a fair bit, so you spend $300-400 getting fixed, it's well worth it. And not as many people end up being able to afford things like 1502s or 1398s. So they're a little more on the costly side. It is an extremely popular model. I mean, they still sell them new. Admittingly, they sort of, I think it max out at 2017, I think. Like I've got the one I've just done last night with the keyboard. That's a 2.2 gigahertz model. So, because I was looking at the frame rates I was getting, and I thought, wow, this thing's really going. And I thought 1.8 was the highest clock rate that they had on the 1466, but no, this one's a 2.2. So yeah, something else learned. I mean, people like Pernov and Lewis would know that off the top of their head, but simpleton, short-term memory people like me did not. So I'll probably be equally shocked again the next time I see it. Okay, I think that's just going to be a flux and boil. Let's just get started. Hey, Zach Baluk. My apologies for butchering your name. Yeah, 250 is not going to cut it. 3D bits have not arrived. No, there's a lot of packages that I have not received as yet, so unfortunately, yeah. It's a waiting game we're all playing at the moment. The COVID waiting game. I think I might just brush off the back, get that dust off. I don't want to excessively mixing with the I don't want it excessively mixing with the flux and everything. You can see the junk that's building up under that. I should actually have a look and see what that's for. So we've got 165. What's this? Q5150. Let's see, SMC 12 PECI support. What do you do? CPU PECI R. I'm not exactly sure what the acronym means. PECI. But I dare say it's probably messing with it. Make sure that hasn't gone in too far there either. Oh yeah, there you go. There's your corrosion. Clean that up too. Hey Catherine, how's it going? Okay, Yamar. Take care, sleep well. At least the best you can. Hope tomorrow's a good one. Platform environment control interface, thank you. I wonder what influence that has on things. Either way, it's corroded. Yeah, it's a nice mess. Oh, is Pernov in here? Temperature controls. Ah, right, thanks. Okay, what is going on with this bottle? There is enough length in the tube that it should be able to No, there it goes. That's just a bit of 80-20 alcohol water mix. Just to break up that stuff. They blowed him. Just having a oh, you're trying to get work done. You can't watch a stream and get work done at the same time, pound off. Especially when I keep saying pound off. Or crying out for your help, pound off. Isn't that right, pound off? I'm not a very nice person, I do apologise. No scope camera. Thanks, people. There we go. Getting cold on the ground plane. Poor little micro pencil does not have the grunt to fight with that ground plane. So we'll have to just give it a bit of a warm up. Not that much of a warm up. Getting work done, recovering data. My work at the moment, watching percentages. What are you recovering data from? Okay, we'll get ourselves another one of those, pardon me, devices. You got one? Nope, you're missing. How convenient. What about you? You're not missing, but you're beaten to hell, so that's a no for you. Hey, warrant stamps. You're also beaten to hell. Crikey. So what does it take to get a non-beaten to hell part around here? That's much better. What it takes is for you to get no fixed boards and keep them, rather than having to buy boards from AliExpress. And I'm still waiting on boards from AliExpress 2 months out, and I've just been very fortunate that I haven't had a strong need for SMCs lately. Well, the last 2 weeks. Otherwise I would be in some trouble. Come on, get that last pad to flow. There you go. What, did I miss something, Ainsley? I'll have to have a look in a bit. Hey, Lexi. Okay, now when I reheat this, it should float up nicely. I say should, because it's in theory. Reality will probably dictate another outcome. Okay, doing alright. That's good. We've got to clean this up. Warren, in the end, I wasn't able to get a hold of the person, so hopefully tomorrow they'll contact me looking for their phone. They'll probably be like, why didn't you contact me? And I thought, well, I messaged the number that you left me with. That's all I can do. And I gotta sneeze. Oh, man. That sneeze was so powerful, you probably all got infected. With hay fever. I actually personally hate sneezing, coughing, anything like that. It drives me insane. Because I know when other people sneeze, cough, and make loud chewing noises, it sends me insane. I just want to leave tables, like dinner tables, things like that. I just want to get up and walk away. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but maybe it's something to do with my hearing. But if I hear it, it's like, gotta get away. I'm kind of like a cat like that. You ever notice when you sneeze and a cat looks at you as if to go, how could you have? Yeah, that's kind of how I am. So how dare you make such a horrible noise? You puny human. Yep, puny human that is using a micro pencil to try and tackle a large floodplain. That's very smart, Paul. That's very, very smart. Yeah, human, you are annoying me. That's very much it. So I sympathise entirely when cats give that look, and it's like, I do apologise. I understand. I feel the same way. Forgive me. Yeah, just need to pick up this solder a little bit and not upset the SMC at the same time. Marvellous. Yeah, I think it might just be the dryness in the air making it a little bit worse for me at the moment. Okay, I gotta work out what this area here is for. It seems like that camera is a little slow on the take at the moment. Okay, all in. Okay. Alright, so it's a camera power enabled for the PCH. It's not a great surprise. What? Man, that's a terrible income. Bank just telling me you have earned $66 today, and I thought that's a terrible daily take for the FPOS. Especially when you're trying to work your way to a couple of $1 million, so you're not going to get there in a hurry at that rate. By the way, anyone here watching the series Deadwood? I started watching it about 2 or 3 nights ago. I'm rather impressed. Interesting to see Timothy Oliphant being a sheriff and all. especially considering my first introduction to Timothy Olyphant was Santa Clarita Diet. But I've just finished the first season. I gotta tell you though, that damn Reverend got under my skin. Oh man, that was some painfully good acting. Was not expecting that to happen. I was like, too good, too good. I was watching your stream earlier, no spoilers. Oh, there shouldn't be any spoilers. Right. It's a little risque, but it was more. It fits in with the period, so I wouldn't consider it excessively so. I mean, I'm not really watching it for that at all. Actually, there's quite a few of those bits that I just skip over. I was like, yeah, this is not pertaining to the plot that I'm interested in. But yeah, the acting for the Reverend, it's too good. Do you sound like a prude? Pedro, no, you just sound like a person who likes his Norton girls. But yeah, I mean, it obviously was appropriately risque for the era. Hey, Vladimir. That is one messed up pad. That is more green than the Martian visitors. Almost lost that one. Damn, I'm gonna have those toothpicks all over the damn floor at this rate. I throw them into the bin, but they bounce out of the bin because of the fact that the bin has not been emptied in a little while. So I'm playing the game of how high can you stack the bin. Yep, and I'm kind of losing right now. Mr. Bianco. Last week of your 5-week vacation, getting bored. Shame. Thank you very much for the 5. You know where that's going to go. Of course you do. Vacation. I hope one day to have a vacation that I enjoy. Well, I hope one day to have a vacation and that I enjoy it. The last time that I had a vacation was 24 years ago. And ever since 24 years ago, I basically have worked non-stop. Not that I'm complaining, I do enjoy work, but I can certainly feel that I could do with a vacation, a legitimate vacation where I don't have to worry about earning money or anything like that, where I can just sit back, get some damn sleep. That's probably what I'd do. Like for me, Christmas, my favourite way of doing Christmas is nobody else in the house, just me and the cats, and I just sleep. And not that restless kind of sleep where you're like, I'm trying to force myself to get some sleep and force myself to get some sleep, but that just peaceful, slow time, enjoyable sleep. And you get up, you get some food, and you go back to bed, and you just enjoy it. It's been a long time since I've had that. Sleep and ice cream, why not? Yeah, ice cream's good. Fur babies make it hard. Oh yeah, we are basically not at all trustworthy. We do not trust anybody at all. Period. But we're content to be able to just yeah, take a few days off here. That's all we want to do. Not go on some wild trips or anything like that. It's not really the way I am, says the person who's been over to Europe and Africa and all that sort of stuff, yeah. Okay, that pad is actually coming off, so I've got to be careful. We've got a bit of a situation here where we need to decide how we're going to handle this. Scary how fast time flies. It certainly is. It's like the handbrake has become an accelerator. Yep. Scope camera dead? No, it's not. It's alive. But we'll go to full size. What you meant to say, Pedro, was that it's not full size scope. Now I've got to be careful with this one because this is the veer, so which will be under there. So if I muck this up, I may have cause for being upset. Okay, so we do have the same resistor here. Grab that. Agreeably though, you know, quad view isn't as good as full view. So thank you for alerting me. I think I might just rotate that resistor around and get it onto that trace a little bit. Like so. Crappy time travelers can only go one way. Yep, just like Star Trek. Only going forward because we can't find reverse. Fairly sure that inductor should be okay. It looks a little beaten up, but I don't imagine it's going to be a real problem. If someone picked up Star Trekking. Come in peace, shoot to kill, shoot to kill, shoot to kill. Yep. What was that, 1989 or something like that? That was a long time ago. Okay, so we can get this off. Give it a bit of a clean up. One thing I learned the other day that was old but new was the song, the key fight song in Thor Ragnarok, whatever it's called, was done by Led Zeppelin. Oh man, look at that. That's gonna have to get replaced. What was it that... I forget the name of it. Holy damn, that's bad. Damn, what was the name of the Led Zeppelin track that they used? I keep wanting to say The Foreigner or The Immigrant or something, but I know I'm not right. Immigrant Song. It was Immigrant Song. Oh, okay. Thanks. I didn't realize that was Led Zeppelin. My bad. To be fair, Led Zeppelin did predate me slightly. My music era is more like Belinda Carlisle and Guns N' Roses, Billy Joel, Roxette. Wow, these things are not wanting a movie. Good. Should have known Pedro would know too. That's right up your alley, Pedro. Allentown by Billy Joel. I haven't heard that. I know a moderate amount of Billy Joel stuff. He was, you know, around a fair bit when I was keeping up to date with that stuff. But then I didn't really buy any of his albums, but yeah, I know things obviously like Piano Man, Uptown Girl, We Didn't Start the Fire, all that sort of, the usual sort of top 40 stuff. But obviously, you know, it was a lot more than just that. Nick Cave. Is that the comedian? No, that's someone else. There's an Australian comedian dude. He's a ginger haired dude. He even has a song that is about the word ginger, even though he initially tries and passes it off or gets you to think that he's saying another word. Forget his name now. Someone's going to remind me that, yeah, I'm the one that told you to go see him. There's always someone to remind me. Yep. This is why you don't use a micro pencil on those pads, folks. All you do is create this great mound of solder you cannot displace. Tim Mitchin, that's it. Knew someone would know. So this is why I don't have to remember things, because I just call on all you guys. Oh, good God! That's the first time that flux is not, that wick has not picked up anything. Normally this wick is like, I'll take your solder and more. That time it was like, do I really have to touch that solder? I don't want to touch that solder. Don't make me touch the solder. Please don't make me touch the solder. Add a bit of flux and it might change its mind. Come on. There we go. Yes, you are my personal web server. You're my personal Google. Complete with errors. So like you're the real life artificial intelligence complete with errors. That's probably going to do. Allentown is PA, USA. Visit the Mack Truck Museum with Chris Smith. Ah. Tell you what, they put a Tesla truck in there, or I might come visit. Okay, we're just clearing up any of the existing corrosion that might be sticking around before I put down fresh flux and transfer another chip. I didn't even look what chip that is. I'm pretty sure that was the TPS 91850 or whatever, something like that. I'm pretty sure it's the TPS by the looks of it. This is how badly I'm just sort of going on by rote. You know, just sort of like, oh, I think that's the chip I want. I think I know what that is. This is why you don't need trained technicians other than just people who can solder okay. They don't have to know anything about the functionality of the board, they just have to know how to solder and not screw it up. I managed to fall in the valley between the two. Not that great at soldering, marginally okay at technical, but good enough to get the job done for now. At least until someone better comes into the market and steals my lunch and throws sand in my face and makes me go looking for some 1960s advertising cartoon that will let me get big muscles and beat them down the next season I'm at the beach. Ah, the joys of masculinity imagery. Don't become the nerd that gets kicked down at the beach. Build your muscles. Beat them back. Me, on the other hand, I'd just devise something like, well, I'll just sniper him from a distance. If anyone's watched the movie Billy Madison, I'm probably more likely to be the guy that puts the lipstick on and has a list of people that he's going to sniper. Probably shouldn't say things like that on YouTube these days, I'm sorry. This is going to get demonetized and probably removed. I was referring to Billy Madison. Don't forget your X-ray specs. Oh yes, gotta have those. It was always very frustrating as an Australian reading all the interesting American sourced comic books like, you know, Casper the Ghost, Richie Rich, Archie, all that sort of stuff. And there'd always be these adverts for these interesting things that you could never buy in Australia. This is where this tip really shines, is cleaning up those pads. You don't want to hear about my personal habits. Oh, I said I'd be like, I'm not saying I would be. It's a key difference, an important one at that too. Hey Andre. Nerd at the beach. Yeah, I can't speak. Nerd at the beach brings bread laced with laxatives to the bullies. Yes. So that's more the kind of thing I would do for retaliatory action. I mean, you really don't want to go bashing your fingers against jawbones and things like that. I mean, realistically, that's a pretty stupid thing to do. Only because you're going to hurt your fingers. And if you hurt your fingers, you're probably going to have to resort to typing in all caps for a couple of weeks. And yeah, that's very unbecoming. I would say on this board that the primary fault that was being in for, what it was described, will be because of this TPS, that corrosion that we had all along there. That would have been the main culprit. This sort of stuff, not so much so. There's a bit more of that goop. So I would say at this point, this board really should get up and start running any moment now. I'm just going over to make sure I haven't missed anything else that's obvious. I mean, we had... Let's see... You lost your end cap? Wait, what? Pineapple pizza will get you demonetized? Hell no, I love pineapple pizza. Pineapple on my pizza. Like just tonight. Pineapple, olives, ham. Basically take a Hawaiian pizza and stick olives and maybe pepperoni on it. That's sort of my ideal pizza. That, or if you've had a rough night, bacon and banana is quite nice. Otherwise, chicken and avocado. Feta cheese. Yeah, I don't mind feta cheese on a pizza, but usually the more gourmet pizzas in that case. But for an actual greasy, recover from the bad night pizza, bacon and banana is quite good. You've been waterboarded with bleach. My pizza flavor options broadened considerably when I was living in South Africa. When I was living here in Australia, basically you had Hawaiian, pepperoni, cheese if you're boring, and Super Supreme. That was it. That was pretty much what you got to choose from living in Australia. And then I went over to South Africa and they've got all these exotic variations. And to be fair, they do offer them here in Australia, but it's a case of sometimes you don't get exposed to that in your own normal environment. So when you step out of your normal environment, you tend to, run into these oddities. And yeah, so I mean, I love it. Where did that cap go? Come here. I'm sure if I went to a reasonable pizza restaurant around town somewhere, I'd be able to find those varieties, or at least order them. I might have to do it anonymously, but yeah. Super Supremes made for real bits of soup, man. Oh, that's terrible. I was being unduly harsh. There's nothing actually wrong with plain cheese pizza. I actually quite like it sometimes. But I was more referring to, given those limited choices, how, anyway. I'm not going to get any further ahead than what I am now by trying to explain my way out of that hole. I've played that game plenty of times. I know when to stop digging deeper and just accept the fact that I'm buried. I could dig myself a bit deeper now by saying I'm a married man, I know that stuff. I love it, plain cheese pizza so long as it has meat on it. Bulgarian feta, I'll have to look that up. Alrighty, enough pointless banter and lies, and misdirection and all the rest of the trash. Let's actually see if this thing boots. And then I can go get myself some ice cream. Realistically, I'm actually more of a fan of gelato and fruit gelatos, things like that, sorbets. That is actually what I do prefer. But these days I sort of have taken the compromise that I'll just take a reasonable vanilla ice cream and then doctor it the way I want. I suppose you could say that I'm eating the pizza equivalent of a cheese pizza. Where's our chipmunk? Pepperoni pizza is simple but efficient. Pepperoni pizza, yes, it is simple but efficient. I think a lot of places really botch it up. I think the biggest fatality when it comes to pepperoni pizza is when they overcook it. and it comes out. And if that pepperoni starts going a little bit off in color and becoming crispy, that's it, they've ruined it. It needs to go back. And they do it so damned often, which is why if I'm going to have pepperoni, I tend to prefer it in amongst something like a Hawaiian plus olives or something else, in order to be able to protect that pepperoni from being burnt. Because like once you burn those fats, those oils in the pepperoni, it's like, well, you've just killed it. You've killed the flavour. You've just now got weird, spicy charcoal. That's it. Okay. Without further ado, let's plug this in and see what happens. Green light, fan spin. Now we've got to wait for the green blinky. You should have an ice cream maker. Ah, too much work. I mean, come on, I'm repairing computers. What more do I have to do in life? It'd be nice if to have the resources. Okay, we've got our green blink, so that's good. The current looks good, 418. Yeah, that's pretty good figures. So yeah, I think we've got a fix. Pickled chilies, jalapenos. Do you mean, Nick Facey? Oh, don't worry, Catherine. I mean, I would be nice to be able to do that sort of thing, to be able to sit back, enjoy more of a cottage life, make your own butter, which we actually have been doing lately. You know, bottle your own fruit, just all those nice things that you have if you have the time. But right now, that is just not an option. I wish it was, but it's not an option. Banana peppers, yellow. Oh no, it was jalapenos. Okay, cool. Best pepperoni is when the fat in it gets transparent, no more, no less. Exactly, Vladimir. Exactly. There's a person who knows how to do the cooking and rendering of fat properly. Thank you. The only time that you should have crispy rendered fat is, say, like on crackling or what am I thinking of? Can't think. Anyway, oh yeah, like say on a side of beef or something like that. Not that I'm a big meat eater anymore, but yeah, if you're going to render fat and you want to do it properly, you want to. If you're going to crisp it up, fine, crisp it up. Don't burn it. That's the trick. You know, burning it is not the same as crisping it up. Any pizza is good since you didn't make it yourself. Yeah, most times. Humanity can still have a causal debate about a subject. Refreshing compared to looking at mainstream news. It's orange sauce. What's orange sauce? You love your pizza well done, a little bit. Ooh, you're on your own there, Travis. Yeah. Okay, fan spin seems right. We're up to 550. I think we're good. Yeah, I'll call that fixed. Fantastic. Alright then, well it's 3 minutes to midnight, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to cut this one short. I'm going to get my ice cream, watch some more Deadwood. I've got Season 2 Episode 1 to watch. I found Season 1 final episode to be exceptionally good, except for a bit of the love stuff at the end there between the two main characters. Yeah, that's great, but it's not what I'm watching it for. Borderline crispy. Yeah, that's it. Yep. Alright. Thank you all for watching. I will maybe see you tomorrow. I do have another computer to do. We've got an A1408 tomorrow. That's not taking any charge, plus whatever else comes in the morning. And hopefully that person with the red iPhone 7 Plus will come in and we'll be able to find out if we do in fact have a bad baseband CPU or whether it's just a dead SIM. Unfortunately, I don't have a SIM for the carrier that they have on hand, so just have to wait and see. Alright, you all take care. I'll see you next time.